everybody, I'm Susan. Welcome to Plateau Art Studio, Art for Kids. Join me as I walk you through step by step on some art projects. Let's see what we're doing today. Well, hi, we've got a really fun little mixed media project for you today. Mixed media is usually using two different kinds of media. Media is any kind of paint, pastels, paper, anything that you're going to use for an art project, different types of things. And so if you're going to just watercolor, it's not mixed media. You're only using one media, which is watercolor. So we're going to use tempera paint and paper. Those are our two little mixed media that we're going to use. So this is our project. This one here is on a 12 by 12 canvas, and it's on a stretched canvas. This one's really, I did this one so long ago that I don't even remember what year it was. It's probably more than 10 years ago. I don't remember. Anyway, so this one's been hanging in my art room, and I thought this is such a fun project. It looks like a lot, it kind of is, but it's pretty simple because everything's already cut out for you. So let's begin. First, you have your canvas that is all ready, and it has just this little half moon on it, which is our sun. You do not need to trace it. So let's start with we're going to start with our sun and not the blue, okay? Because if you have any leftover blue in your brush, you'll end up with a green sun, because yellow and blue make green. So I have chosen to use both orange and yellow and to mix them a little bit, but I'm not going to mix them completely. I want to just kind of get kind of a swirly, I want them both to show that I'm using that. So my sun is going to be yellow and orange mixed together. And I am using a big flat brush, so don't use your bristle brush, not this one. You guys should all have kind of a small version of this. I want you to use the largest nice brush you have for this, because it's a large area and you don't want a tiny little brush because you'll be sitting there all day painting. That might be okay with you. Alright, so I'm just going to go really careful, try to make that nice curve here, stay on that line. You should be using a flat brush, not a round brush. Flat brush is like square and flat. Round brush looks like this, where this one's really long, but a round brush is round, and the flat brush. So make sure you're using the right brush. A nice flat brush, large one. And then you can use the corner of that brush to get right up close, and go slow, and you'll get a nice edge right there. Oops, a little further there. And I'm not using like a lot of paint. You don't want to get sloppy with your paint. Just enough to cover that whole area, okay? Now if you want, you could do orange, and then as it gets the sun, maybe more yellow on the side, you kind of decide if you want to play with your colors that way, okay? Now, the next thing's really important. Since we're switching over from a warm color to a cool color, you need to wash your brush really well, okay? So you can go and wash your brush in your tub really well, get all the paint out of your brush, and then dab it on your towel to make sure it looks clean. Now you can go to the sink and refill your tub. You can put me on pause and refill this to make sure your brush is really clean. All right, so I'm just going to switch in a clean water, so you can go change your water if you want. And I'm going to clean my brush again. I want my brush to be really clean. If I have yellow left in it, I'm going to end up with orange background. Or, excuse me, green. What am I saying? Because yellow and blue make green. So we're going to do this blue. And I want my brush to be really clean. All right, so now I'm going to use my blue paint. And this is a really nice rich blue. And I want a little white in it, just to brighten it up. If you want dark blue, use dark blue. Art, you can just kind of, it's art. You choose if you want a lighter blue, okay? I just think it's really pretty to have a little bit lighter blue. So I did dip my brush into some water so that my paint goes on really nice and goes further, okay? You paint all the way to the edge, all the way around, every little corner. You get good coverage on that, all right? And then just go around your sun. Don't get too close yet. You need to get those corners to the edge of the sun to dry a bit, okay? Because we don't want to mix that orangey yellow with our blue. Get kind of a yucky color. All right, so I'm almost done here. And I'm going to leave a nice white border for right now. I'm going to turn this around. This is already starting to dry. Okay, so now you can go take your paint, a little bit of water, just a little bit. You don't want it runny, just so that the paint will go further. And I'm going up, I'm going slow now, and I'm going right up to the edge. Okay, you can probably see the paint in my brush. Okay, I'm just going right up to the edge. I don't really want to paint over it because I don't want to smear my two colors together. I don't want green in there. So if your paint's still wet, if your sun's still wet, be really careful. Hey, and you know what? If you get a little orange in there, oh well. That's okay. Alright. Alright, so now I've painted that. And I'm going to wash my brush off and set it aside. Now, you probably will need to pause because I do paint kind of fast. So as you're finishing the blue, you just probably want to let it sit for a few minutes to let it dry. And I'm going to put this aside and we're going to work on the next step. All right, so now here's the next step. Now this is entirely up to you. My original one here is just a plain sun with a little decoration around the edge. If this is what you like, do this, and I'll do it with you later. But if you want to draw half a face on your sun, this is kind of a whimsical project, and whimsical means fun and happy and just kind of some fun things on there. So if you want to draw half a mouth, an eye, half a nose, and my nose I drew can just be like a little bubble, and then the line goes up, and this is the eyebrow. Or just draw something really simple. If you want, you can leave your sun plain. Now we're going to go on to the gluing. So now what I have is the sun rays, all right? And make sure your project is dry, or do this on another piece of paper. what I want you to do first is lay out all your sun rays first. Do not glue. Lay them out like a puzzle first. Okay, this one I think is double-sided. I really like that side. Some of the pieces you have will have, that one does not. Excuse me. This one has two sides on it. Which side should I use? The flower. Oh, I think I kind of like the flowers. All right, so I'm going to lay everything out. Oop, and that one has a checker on that side. So you decide which designs you want to use, since you can switch them around. And don't worry about if they go off your project right now, okay? That's okay right now. Okay, so then we'll put this one here. I can move these in just a little bit. And what do I have? I have orange on that side. And I have that one. And we'll put green. Oh, no, I'll do this way. All right, so I know this seems a little strange to have these hanging way off, but I did that so that you have the choice of where things go. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 long sun rays, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 of the shorter ones. And I want you not to cut them yet. All right, so now here's our next step. Now, when you have them where you want them, glue them on. Okay, and when you glue, you can go around the edges. I'm just gonna kind of do this quickly. Whoops. I forgot I didn't need to do the whole thing on that one. That one hangs off. I want you to leave them long for right now. After everything dries, then we'll cut them, okay? So here's that one. And so now remember, they go from the small end to the large end. It's a sun ray coming out, getting larger. So the small end is next to the sun, and then they go out larger. Okay, so don't put them this way. They go this. Well, you could. That's up to you. But the small point, the small part, goes closer to the sun. Then after we get this all done, we're going to do some decorating, some tracing to make it whimsical. Whimsical art. Make it fun. This kind of project you can do as much as you like. You know, you can take it as far as you want. That means that you can do a little bit. You can glue these on and draw a face and leave it, or you can really do some decorating and really have some fun with it. Kind of like that side, little, almost like a zebra side. Oops, okay. And then this one. This one is the same as this one, but I don't want two of them, so I'm going to turn it over, and so they're all different. And again, after everything is dry, then we'll cut the edges off, okay? You might need a parent to help you do that. If you are older, working on this project, and you can handle scissors well, then do it yourself. Okay, that one's one more. Almost done here, almost. There. All right. So now I have all my sun rays glued on. I'm gonna go press them down. Oops. Alrighty, now the decorating. This is the whimsical part. On this one here, I drew, so I like maybe a really fine pen or something, so it's really hard to see, but I have little, maybe on this one, you can see I drew little lines and little like tiny little mountains, little round bubbles. You can do that on here. This one's nice and bright, so I'm going to do it on this one so you can see. Maybe you want to do some little half circles. Whoops. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just have some fun with it. And then after the glue is dry, I want you to trace everything with your marker or a black crayon. I've always told you to use a Sharpie when we're painting, but we are not painting. So if you have markers at home, then go ahead and use a marker. Just, you know, like not a big fat marker, but like the Crayola markers or something. You can use a black one on here. And then this one, I make some circles. But make sure your glue is dry. See, I got a big bunch of glue there. If you get it on your marker, it'll ruin your marker. Oops. What other shapes could we use for doing this? See, now I'm not going to go all the way to the edge there because that's where I'm going to cut it. So I could go this way. Maybe a zigzag. Looks like a sewing stitch, a zigzag sewing stitch. Now, if you did a face and you have other paints at home and you want to paint in the eye or the lips or something, you can do that. So after these are dry, I want you to trace along here. It'll just make everything look finished and clean, and if you want to do that. So like I said, you can take this as far as you want. You can do so much with this project. Oh, I'm stuck there. There's no glue under there. Oh, I'm just stuck everywhere. Let me fix that. There we go. All right. So now, after this is all dry, and you have done a little pattern on your sun rays, I just want you to, and make sure, I can't say it enough, make sure your glue is dry before you start tracing around so that you don't get glue on there. So now I did make some little designs on my sun around. And I can retrace those. And if I want to not paint this in, I could, but maybe I just gonna take my markers and I can retrace what I have on there. So it shows up well. Almost done. Then I'll show you, we'll cut those. Alright, and we'll do the mouth. You can practice drawing on another piece of paper, you know, before you do your final face if you want a face. Okay. There's that. Now we've got all these little sun rays around. I'm gonna get a pair of scissors. There we go. Okay. And once these are all dry, I can cut them off. Whoops. Come on. There we go. Got more. Mine aren't all the way dry, so they're lifting a little bit, so I just want to do it so you can see. So there we go. There's our whimsical smile sun. Now you're gonna have your letters and you're gonna lay them out. Smile, S-M-I-L-E. So lay them out so you know where they go first, and make sure that your S's and your letters are faced the right way. And you just put a little glue on them. Put one up here at the top. S-M. So it seems like a lot, but at least you might want to lay those on there to make sure that they fit all correctly on there, and that by the time you get to the bottom that they aren't off your canvas. I think I've got plenty of room there. I should have told you the L and E. So those all fit on there. You can make them a little crooked if you want, just so that they're a little more whimsical. You can do that. It's kind of fun. I kind of like that. I kind of like that. There's my L. I'm making a little crooked on purpose. You don't have to. Yours can be straight. Now again, when the glue is all dry, if you want to make little designs on your letters, you can do that too, and trace around your letters. And there we go. Wow, that is a big project. That is so much fun. Right, so he's done. And of course, like I said, now my glue's wet, but when it's dry, I can trace all the way around my letters. And here, I'll get the other one so you can see what it looks like. I must have got glue on the bottom of that one. So this one here does not have a face, but as you can see, I made the letter S. Excuse me. And the M, you can put little M's on it, or I made circles, diamonds, lines, and little swirls. I just sort of decorated those. And everything else here is dry, and it looks like I just did lines on these here, just kept it simple. So again, with this project, you do as much as you want. If you love to sit and do little doodles, then this is the project for you. And if you want to keep it really simple, then keep it simple. Just put the project together and be done. If you want to put a face on your son, put a face on your son. So there you go. So this has been a really fun project. I found it and I thought, oh my gosh, I have to share this because I just really like this project. So I hope you did too, and have a great day, and I'll see you again real soon. Okay, bye-bye now. Hey, thanks for joining me today. I hope you had fun with that project. Tune in next week. We'll see what we're doing then. Okay, bye-bye.